Good evening, people. Bloody hell. It's a bit chilly. Wasn't expecting this. It was beautiful earlier today. This is Monday evening. Ooh, could definitely feel it. All right, just a quick update. Just in terms of context of what the hell's going on here. I'm middle-aged. Let's ditch the middle-aged. I'm an older gentleman. I'm in my 50s, working as a Deliveroo Uber Eats driver in a city called Sheffield, medium to largish city in the sort of central north part of the UK. I'm going to pick up my first order. It's a Deliveroo order for about £5. It's about a mile to the restaurant, and then, I don't know, a few miles after that. And you know what we're going to talk about today? Happiness and success. Ooh. Not keeping it light, I appreciate, but, you know, there's only so many ways that I can talk about Uber Eats fees policy or the way Deliveroo manage their supermarket orders without causing extreme boredom in you. So, you know, I feel I need to up the game a little bit. Talk about something a bit more serious, a bit more challenging. And I was thinking, happiness and success. I'll explain why in a minute. Let me just pick up this order. It's from this Vietnamese restaurant over there, the big orange place called Nam Song. Nice food, if you're in Sheffield. Excuse us, can I take that? Just one. Yeah, cheers, thanks a lot. £2 tip on this order now. Makes it £7. Nice. All right, let's get off to this one. It's like 12 minutes, just over 3 miles. So not too bad for like £7 odd. So let's get off to that. Yeah, happiness, success. Two chunky old topics. I think I've been thinking about it because I keep getting in my YouTube feed. I keep getting these videos, and I think it's my own fault because I watched a few of them about a year or so ago when I was contemplating voluntary redundancy. You know, I looked up like men giving up work in their 50s or something, you know, a natural thing to look for as I was planning the same. And what you get is a lot of men in their 50s and 40s, surprisingly, like sat in their car. There seems to be like a style to this. You kind of sit in the car, you look really desperate and unhappy and sort of hold your head in your hands or, you know, stare out the window meaningfully and talk about how you feel, you know, you've thrown their life away by either giving up work, not giving up work, not having enough money, not having a wife, kids, or having a wife and kids and money. You know, they can be quite depressing. I don't always get all the way through them. But, you know, the basic spiel is hate the rat race, hate the 9 to 5, can't see any future for themselves. And, you know, I can see, and you kind of look at the comments and it's just everyone saying, yeah, I feel the same way, I feel the same way. Now, I don't, you know, I do understand where the people are coming from with this. You know, I was feeling some vaguely similar thoughts when I stopped working a year or so ago from a full-time job to do this. But they're a tough watch. I mean, I think it's very good that they're doing it. I mean, it's clearly, you know, they're very honest and very open about their feelings, but, you know, there's still a bit of me. There's still that kind of middle-aged British white man about me that's like, whoa, what are we doing? Talking about our feelings. For God's sake, man, bottle it up. Go for a brisk walk. But at the same time, yeah, I do understand that this is you know, it's obviously good for them to do this. I'm not going to do that, by the way, just in case you're worrying and you're hovering over the pause button, which you may be already, given the topic I've chosen. But I will not be spinning a tale of woe about how unhappy or desperate I am. I mean, there are elements of happiness, unhappiness, desperation and not desperation about my life, which I will go into a little bit. But let me say at the outset, even though this job is not a financially viable job, I'm still happy doing it. You know, I think I've said in other videos, you know, you can't, I don't think, certainly at my age and my, you know, energy levels, very difficult to make a livable wage on this. Unless you're willing to go out for hours on end and, you know, stay out for 10, 11, 12 hours, working your balls off. And, you know, I think I've reached that stage of my life where I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do it. Don't want to. Not interested. So, at least on a financial level, this is not, you know, it's not a sustainable job, but I still enjoy it. But I think, yeah, there's a lot, it's a curious job in some ways. So yeah, so as I'm going around in this job, you do see sort of every level of society. So, you know, 1 minute you can be delivering to you know, some sort of palatial mansion with Ferraris in the driveway, and you know, and then, you know, 10 minutes later you're in the most sort of deprived, sort of rundown areas of the city, you know, delivering to a block of flats where there's a a drug addict asleep on the stairwell. So, you know, and you kind of mentally veer between the two. And, you know, it's inevitable that you compare your own life in these cases and go, well, you know, when you're at the mansion, you're like, well, you know, how am I not in this situation? How did I get to be, you know, poor in comparison to these people? And then you get to the you know, rundown council estate, you're like, well, you know, I'm not doing too badly in comparison. Of course, comparison is always the problem, isn't it? It's the fact that you're comparing, but it is a job that naturally lends itself to that, I would say. And also, I think it does force you to confront some pretty dodgy stereotypes sometimes. And I think it has helped me get over some of them, I think, at times. Because, you know, when I first started doing this, and I would go to, say, you know, like a really rich person's house. And if they didn't give me a tip, I was thinking, yeah, bloody tight bastard, you know. Surely you can afford or spare a quid as a tip. Which is stereotypes, though, is probably not the worst one in the world. But then also, you know, on the flip side, you would also sometimes deliver some sort of quite posh food, some sort of bag of Waitrose food or some quite expensive takeaway to a really poor part of the city. And, you know, your mind would go into that, you know, mode of, well, maybe you shouldn't be spending money on this. And you know, you have to get out of this mode, because that's not useful ways of thinking, really. It's like those CEOs of companies who say that, you know, millennials will never own houses because they eat too much avocado on toast. Hey, here you go. Have you got your 9.9? Thank you so much. Thanks for the tip. Much appreciated. I mean, apologies if my thinking here is all over the place. You're not going to be getting a massively coherent argument about this. I mean, even if I was not moving and on a bike and looking at GPS and trying to take orders and work out where the hell I am, still probably wouldn't get a very coherent argument. But obviously, throw all those factors on top, and it's like trying to unravel a knitted ball of wool, really, in terms of strains of thought. I got a McDonald's order, which is just down here, if I remember rightly. I'll just go and pick this up. It's only like a quick £3-quidder. Shouldn't take long. Shouldn't take long. Oh, look at that. Like a chopper. Something from my childhood. Look at those bikes. They're pretty cool. All right, buddy. All right, mate. Have you got that one? Cheers, buddy. All right, let's go off to this. It's only a mile. Take about 6 minutes. Suspect it's a bit of a rabbit warren route around the city centre to try to get to it. See, that building used to be like a rock and roll museum. I think it's like Student Union now. Didn't last very long. Not very popular, apparently. Hello, is this for you? Just give us 1 second. Oh, I think that's your food. Just wait 1 sec for your drink. Right. There we go. A little bit spill there, but I think it's okay. Have you got your number? 47. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. Yes, my new thing is getting the drinks out of this little bag in front of the customer. I got a tip from one the other day. He seemed very impressed by it, that I'd made the effort to put drinks in a separate bag. So I now very deliberately sort of take the drinks out of that bag in front of them, which of course is great if they haven't spilled. Less impressive if they have. But you know, got to put on a bit of a show, haven't you? Might get you a tip, never know. Smashed burger and sides. It's very close. It's very close. So yes. I'll do it. It's only 700 meters from here, so let me just park up here and see where we are. Park up here and see where we are. Is this Smashed Burgers? I think this Mighty Bites has about 7 restaurants in it, if I remember rightly. Hi, mate. How's it going? Do you know, is this smashed?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is smashed, yeah. Okay. Deliveroo, yeah. Let me just find that. 6116. I've also got another order. Bang Tang, is that you as well? Okay. Wait a sec. 3372. Is it ready? 2 minutes. Okay, buddy. I can't put this in the bag. It's that one. Thank you so much. All right, so yeah, so this place here, this Mighty Bites, because I've just done 2 deliveries from there. I've taken 2 orders from there, from 2 different restaurants within it. And I've certainly come here before and done orders for 2 other restaurants, none of them called Mighty Bites. So I think I did like a bao bun, and this one here was a smash burger place, and the other one was a Korean fried chicken place. But they're all making the stuff on the same grills and the same things, and presumably it's just the same menu they've got for their normal restaurant there as well. So, and there are a few places that do this, and I know there's one place I go to which is not a takeaway at all. It's just a kitchen. I think they're called dark kitchens. Anyhow, it's just one dude who's hired out a bit of a warehouse on some industrial estate. I mean, it's very smart. And he's got about 8 different restaurants in there. You know, he's got like a sort of a Mexican restaurant, he's got a Greek restaurant, he's got a burger restaurant, he's got a bao buns restaurant, Chinese, everything. Now, it's not a scam. You know, obviously they can do this. There's nothing sort of illegal about doing this. You know, I think when you order bao buns or something, I suppose you want to feel that you're getting it from sort of an authentic Chinese place. And I suppose if it's called generic burger place, they probably don't feel that way. But if it's got a sort of Chinese sounding name or whatever, then presumably it does. It's okay, I'm coming. Don't worry. 26. Thanks so much, buddy. Have a good one. All right, let's get off to this next one. It's only 2.5 miles. Now, coming back to our previous topic, happiness, success, all that nonsense. I bet you're thinking, God, I thought he'd drop this. You were hoping he'd dropped this, but he's coming back to it. Oh yeah, I'm going to flog this like a dead horse. It is kind of interesting when I meet particularly people from my previous job. And I sort of tell them what I'm doing, that I'm delivering and stuff like that. I mean, you can see in their eyes a certain amount of, they're kind of like, oh, and how's that going? They're trying to show interest and trying to pretend that they're happy for me, but deep down you can see they think, whoa, this is what it's come to, eh? And, what I don't want to do is shout like at them, no, really, it's fine. I enjoy doing this. I like it. It's not a problem. Because, I know by the standards of the job I used to have, this is considerably less well paid, has no benefits, and also has no kind of status in society. No one, if she said to me, oh, I'm a deliverer, no one's going to say, oh, that's a damn good job you've got there. It's a job that's fraught with insecurity, potential, danger. And there are obviously elements of criminality involved in this, and there's a bit of an underbelly of illegal work here as well. So there's just a sort of a veneer of disrepute to this particular job. So when you say that you're doing this, I think people are thinking, yeah, but what are you really going to do? And they're assuming this is a stopgap, and to a certain degree, I think it is. And I mean, the main reason it's a stopgap is that it just doesn't pay enough, and I either need to find another job which pays that I can do at the same time as this to make money. But I'd be very loath to give this job up, I tell you, I really would. And I can't really explain, exactly what it is that I like about this. I think there is an element of just nosiness. I like going around and seeing where people live and what they're up to, and going to bars and takeaways and restaurants and seeing how people are eating in these places. It's just curious, But there's a kind of slightly voyeuristic element to it, which I probably shouldn't explore in too much detail. But yeah, the pay shit. What can I say? It's awful. I mean, ideally, I would like some sort of passive income coming in as well as doing this. And I think I assumed that was something that I could have done once I got redundancy. But then I realized I was kind of too stupid to work out how to do that, or what ways you can make passive income. I don't think I've got the brain to do sort of trading or any other kinds of stuff which make money for you. I did sort of stick some money in various accounts and stocks and shares, but it's ticking over a small amount, but not massively. And I'm still having to sort of spend a fair bit of my redundancy money just to survive as well. So there is going to be I reckon I've got about 6 more months of doing it. If I just did this and didn't do anything else, I could probably survive for 6 more months before the money, ticked down to 0. So I've got to think of something to do in that time. And I have been sort of half-heartedly applying for jobs, but I think that's the problem. It's been very half-hearted. Need to park somewhere around here. Okay, let's just park here. Work out where the hell I am. I know it's around here somewhere in this place. Oh, it's you. Okay. It's okay. Stay. I'll come. Hi, buddy. Have you got your code on you? 0171. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day. All right, let's go and pick that up. I've got a £10 order from this Greek place just down the road here, not far. See, so I think for me, you know, people say, oh, you know, money doesn't buy you happiness, and I largely agree with that. But I think it does kind of create the conditions under which you can be happy. There's a sort of a base level of money that you need to eliminate the kind of anxiety that inevitably goes along with not having cash. That I think can make happiness quite difficult. And I don't think I'm there yet. I don't have that kind of cash. Now I know I'm better off than some people, but considerably worse off than many. You know, and I know that I'm, you know, as a 54-year-old man, I'm supposed to have reached this sort of point of financial security by this stage of my life. You know, I look around and virtually everyone I know of my age who I've sort of worked with or know, you know, are on cruise control at this point. Some of them have even sort of talking about retirement. But yeah, I never got it really. And I think the problem was I lived abroad for many, many years. I'd left the UK at 21. So I went abroad. I wasn't planning to spend long there. Ended up, you know, 17, 18 years abroad in the end. Various countries. I worked in about 10, 11 different countries. And, you know, I think one of the things I liked was that I didn't have to follow sort of what was expected of me. You know, when you live in a different country, you know, the locals there, they don't care. You know, they're just like, well, he's a foreigner. He doesn't have to, you know, get a proper job and get married and have kids and stuff. You know, they're happy for you to do whatever you want. Which is great. Oh. Hello, Calispera. Yeah, it's 3417. Is it ready? Perfect. Thank you. Or if you just pop it there, I just need to scan. Thank you. All right, buddy. So yeah, so I lived abroad for many, many years. And like I said, it was kind of good because I think it's one of the reasons why I left is, you know, I'm not sure I really wanted to start on that sort of treadmill of job and marriage and kids and everything. And, you know, this was a way of avoiding that for a bit. But it kind of went on a bit long. And then when I finally came back to the UK in 2009 with a wife and child in tow, you know, I was essentially a person in his late 30s, but with the financial status and indeed financial acumen of someone who was about like 21 years old, which is when I left. Didn't really understand anything about sort of pensions. I didn't have a pension, taxes, mortgages. It was all just, you know, gobbledygook to me. And so I thought, you know, what's the most mature way to handle this situation? Obviously, the obvious thing would be to you know, man up, become an adult, learn about these things, settle down. What did I do? Just carried on pretending as though they didn't exist. I mean, I did some basic stuff. You know, I was on the company pension and stuff, but I kind of soon realised that a mortgage was, and getting the deposit for a mortgage was probably just not realistic for me. You know, I was broke and, you know, just surviving paycheck to paycheck was enough. But as the years went on, that also became a more unrealistic goal, to the point now where I'm in my 50s and I'm still renting and I don't own a house. I'm not even sure where I'd begin with that kind of thing. And I suppose that's where I feel I haven't really been successful as a human or as an adult, is failing to secure, you know, my future, my kids' future, all of that kind of stuff. And obviously the smart thing to have done would have been not to have given up a very, very good job to become a full-time delivery driver. That would have been the smart thing to do. I didn't do that. But no one really resents me for that. No one in my family, which is great, really. You know, I think they all realise that my previous job was making me unhappy. And I think they were willing to put up with a bit of hardship if it meant a slightly happier dad and husband. Whether they still think that now? Don't know. Probably not. It is surprisingly bloody chilly this evening, I tell you. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Move it, mate. Move it. But I suppose the thing is, we always tend to measure success by the things we don't have, really. You know? Because I know by a lot, you know, there's many things that I feel have made me a reasonably successful, happy human. There's, you know, I got a wife, wonderful wife and 2 kids. I've had a very varied working career. I've had the chance to work in many, many different countries, have lots of different interesting experiences. And I know many people don't get the chance to have those things. And there are many people who would swap financial security for those things. You know, I know people I've worked with who, you know, yeah, they've got a house. Some people have even like paid off their houses quite young and stuff, but you know, they're lonely and they don't have a partner. They haven't found the right person, and you know, for that reason they don't have kids. And you know, they don't necessarily have to have those things, but you know, you talk to people and you know, they're clearly in some cases what they wanted. It just never happened for them. And probably for them, they would give up that financial security just to have those other things. But you know, it's that kind of glass half full stuff, I suppose. We focus on the absence rather than what we have, which is, you know, it's the eternal problem in life, isn't it? I'm not 100% sure what point I'm trying to make here. I think I just wanted to have a chat about sort of happiness and success, really, after watching all these weird YouTube videos of people being quite sad indeed about their lot in life. I suppose, you know, I find it difficult to be that unhappy. I think that speaks to a certain shallowness, which I don't think is always a bad thing. A certain emotional shallowness. I think intellectually I'm okay, but, you know, emotionally I think I'm quite shallow. And I think that can be very helpful for getting through life. I find I'm easily distracted by things that make me happy. I'm very, very good at repressing the things that don't. That's all right, let's just park here. Hello, here you go. Oh, he's coming for me. Thank you. Thanks for very nice, clear instructions as well.
Do you need the code?
I do. 24. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right, well, I think I've already made about £34. I've only been out a couple of hours. It's not bad. It's like £17-18 an hour, which on a sort of a slow Monday night isn't bad at all. I was going to stay out a bit longer, but oh, bloody hell, it's cold. I'm freezing. I'm so underdressed. So I think I'm going to slope off home. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm not sure what point I was trying to make tonight. It was just sort of random thoughts I had. As I think we all do. Oh, this guy is getting on my fucking nerves. Absolute dickwad. And I've gone in a moment from talking about moments of joy to being angry with the youth of today. Complex thing is happiness, isn't it? And on that bombshell, I'll see you later.